Good morning, everyone. I'm Terry. Happy energy reading. So nice to see you. We have ourselves in store today for a weekday reading. So that is going to go from Monday all the way to Thursday. And just remember that this is for the collective. So if this information is not resonating with you, just take what does, toss what doesn't. And if you would like something more personal, more private, you can feel free to schedule a one-on-one reading with me directly through my website, terryhuberman.com. Just click on the book a reading section and you can take it from there. So here's what my team was telling me to relay to y'all, and then we'll pick some cards. So the energy this week is about drawing our attention away from things that are too important to us. So I'm not sure if you guys are aware of transurfing, but there is a modality, I guess you can call it, of law of attraction called transurfing. And in that, there's this concept of balancing forces. And what balancing forces is all about is that the universe loves things in balance, right? So if you have a scale, and one side of the scale, there's too much focus or attention put on it, it means it's heavier, it's denser. Then this side is, lighter and fluffier, let's just say. And so there's not a balance. But the universe does not like when there's imbalance. So what it'll do, it'll make sure things get balanced, right? Now we live in a world of polarity, right? So what happens is if we focus too much on, for example, things we want, then according to the law of balances, what's going to happen is that it's going to level ourselves out, and we're going to actually neutralize the fact of noticing that we don't have what we want. So anytime you're in like a polarity of something, when you are focusing too much on like what you don't have versus what you do have, you actually neutralize the law of attraction. So what happens is that the law of repulsion gets activated. So the more you think about something, the more it runs away. Okay? So this week, what my team was telling us was that if we're focusing too much on one particular outcome or result, we're actually repelling it. Now, most of the time, I don't know if you guys understand this. I'm sure you do, just maybe not articulated this way, but as soon as you stop focusing, stop worrying, or stop giving a shit about something, it comes to you. That's what this week is about, is the more you place your awareness on something, that's where your energy is going, right? And it's usually outside of yourself, unless you're working with the energy systems of your body, right? Then you're keeping it within. Otherwise, what you're doing is you're focusing out. So this week, what they're telling me is that too many of us are focusing on outcomes and results instead of just going along and just letting things play out. And so by allowing ourselves to play things out, we're actually allowing things to materialize for us here in this 3D world. Now, of course, as we know, in the third dimension, things take longer for us to actually receive because of time. And time is a consciousness, right? So when we're aware of something, we're conscious of something. So if we're always aware of the time and the fact that we don't have what it is we want, we slow shit down, right? Because our thought process becomes density. It becomes lower vibrational. So we have to drag those lower densities to the next point, to get to the next point, to get to the next point. That's because we live in time and space. So this week, I'm going to pull some cards just to see what the implementation tool will be for us, to see how we can get away. What can we do to, just kind of help ourselves stop focusing so much on the outcome or the results of whatever we're working on, right? I'm just pulling some cards here now. How can we not activate the law of balancing forces here, right? Because all of us are working on something somehow, even if it's just a desire or a wish. But when we want something way too much, too hard, law of repulsion comes into play, because universe does not like imbalance. So here we go. Let's do a card reveal and put this all together for their implementation so we could see how we can navigate our way through this week. So we have the 10 of Diamonds. This is about new prosperity. So this is telling me that a lot of us are probably looking towards money. So if we're focusing too much on money, guess what's happening? Money is leaving us. Probably unexpected bills, unexpected expenses are popping up for you guys. I know they have for me, for sure. La Calavera. We need to actually stop this process. Look, you're going to do what you're going to want to do anyways. And if you feel you need to consistently obsess or, place all of that focus and attention on this outcome or result, which is pretty much a financial thing, keep doing it. And look, there's nothing wrong. You're not doing it bad. It's just going to take longer because you're tracking time. And when you're tracking time, your energy is vibrating at a lower frequency. So it's just a slower moving wave. That's it. It doesn't mean it won't happen. It just means it could take a really long time. But again, this is really telling us that we should probably stop logging and tracking, what we have and what we don't have, right? So we have playfulness. I love this because, as a matter of fact, playfulness is the opposite frequency of trauma frequency. So what we're being told is that by playing, we can actually distract ourselves from focusing so much on that outcome, right? So it's time for us to play a little bit this week, don't you think? I think. So, and what play does is it gets you out of your mind. You get to pretend. You get to leave who you are in this moment. So, one of the prompts I can lead you with is when you were a kiddo, what did you used to do when you would lose all track of time? Because really, it would be great for all of us to lose all track of time right now, because time is what's kind of kicking our ass right now, right? Especially if we're trying to cultivate some sort of money. So stop tracking time, stop looking where you are, at what you have, what you don't have, how far you've come, how far you still need to go. No, start playing. Distract yourself with play. And let's see what our last card here is, the Tower. Yes. Well, this doesn't surprise me. Tower is like very life-changing, alternating. Is that an alternating? Circumstances, and that's exactly what is going on. Tower moments are when our life kind of comes crumbling down, so shit can really happen. So this week, there is the potential and the possibility. I don't want to be all doomy gloomy here. It's not typically my nature, but every once in a while I feel like I've got to give you an alert. This could be a heads up buttercup kind of week when it comes to finances. So surprises will be afoot for sure. The hardest thing, or the most challenging thing that we're going to be doing or experiencing this week, is getting ourselves out of that place of noticing have, not have, want, not want, right? The polarity of things. Polarity is unfortunately one of the associations in the third dimension with time and space. Polarity, have, not have, which is like total opposites, right? Fat, skinny, rich, poor, right? The polarity, its duality is just one of the descriptors that we need to deal with in third dimension as a way for us to grow and evolve our soul. So it's definitely a human concept. Animals don't really think about that because animals don't have ego. And this is where ego lies. Ego loves duality, and it would actually prefer to live in one side versus the other side so that it could avoid a side. right? Because it just doesn't want to deal with things. So, you know, this week, the other thing is like if you've been putting off paying bills or finances or anything, just wanting to like not deal with your financial issues, you might have a rude awakening this week. You might have a rude awakening this week and really have to face and deal with your financial issues. So this is going to be a bit of an uncomfortable week. I'm really sorry to be saying this. Yikes, yikes. But yeah. So heads up, Buttercup, with finances. Really, the implementation tool would be to see if you can get some more play in, right? Which would help you distract yourself from the extremes of have, not have, rich, poor, broke, not broke. You know, try and get out of the duality and the polarity of the feelings this week, which does mean that there's going to be some sort of ego integration that's going to have to happen. It's going to have to happen, and we're going to want to avoid it because it's uncomfortable, but we're not going to be able to. All right, guys? Yikes. Breathe in, breathe out, right? Breathe in, breathe out. What am I always saying to you? Stay connected. Stay connected to your family and friends. Stay connected to yourself. And of course, you can stay connected to me by checking me out at terryhuberman.com. And I'll see ya on the flip side.